Well, great day, everybody. Great day, everybody. That's just a little bit of I know who I am. Come on, get it out. Just a little bit. I know who I am. I have some other favorite songs that I have been sharing, but we keep getting blocked. And so I am pausing that and I'm looking for instrumentals that will allow individuals to listen freely to the entire broadcast, including the music, wherever they are in the globe, in the earth. And so it looks like this one is safe. Plus, it has lyrics, and the lyrics are so meaningful. And so that's where I am right now. That's what I'm sharing. And so hopefully you've been blessed by some of our other sharings. But this is where we are. So we're trying something new. We're attempting something new. We're implementing something new so that we can be as efficient as possible. So blessings to each of you. If it's your first time joining us for the Midday Moment, I'm your host, Dr. Davina Jones. Hearts to all of our replay people. Hearts to everyone who's able to join us live. I do this for me. This is a part of my spiritual practice. This is faith-based, okay? It's a part of my spiritual practice. This is how I show up as my best self. I take time out of my day to make sure I have some kind of scriptural study, some kind of scriptural reflection, some meditation, some contemplation. And so I do that personally. And then I'm called to share it out loud, just like some people are called to share their art out loud. Okay. Everybody ain't called to maybe share their art out loud. Some people are called to share their art out loud. Some people are called to share their engineering skills out loud. Some of this stuff we hook up is just at home. Don't be trying to share and contract in your skills and so forth. That just work for right there. Nothing else. Okay. And so I'm just called to share out loud these spiritual conversations. This is a part of my domain that I am gifted, skilled, and called to lead in. And so thus my sharing. Now, in this season of the Midday Moment, I am sharing and studying in tandem with what I call the master class, the daily download taught every morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by Dr. Deborah R. Pulley. And I'm supporting this particular study platform because we are supporting the publication of the Kingdom Study Bible. Yes, another Bible, just like another restaurant that we don't complain about, or another nail salon that we don't complain about, another Kingdom Study Bible, another Bible. This Kingdom Study Bible is loaded with life application. This is life application. So many times individuals lean into reading scripture. And it's a lot because you can read that Bible literally. You can read it as literature. You can read it for its life application. And I know many groups, many communities, are in between all of that. And we certainly give some literal interpretations, but we really, really prioritize the life application. What does it mean for us now as we read this? And so we offer a lens. We offer a lens through the teachings of Jesus. Jesus taught the kingdom. I know a lot of churches really prioritize the gospel of Jesus Christ, but that ain't what he taught. He lived death, burial, and resurrection, but he taught kingdom principles. It's a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of seeing. He was challenging people how to think, how to see. How are you speaking? What are you saying? Really? So this was a huge challenge. And the challenge that he gave us through these kingdom teachings is all designed to help us to live our best life. I don't just mean driving a car. I mean your best life in consciousness. How do you heal? I'm not talking about how you buy a car. That's great. Okay. I'm not knocking it. I got one. I drive it. Grateful. Hoping to pay it off. I don't wish to finance no more cars. Anything I buy after this, I desire for it to be cash. No problem. Okay. But how are you healing? I wish above all things, John writes, that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So we're not knocking these physical things. We need these physical things. Jesus used these physical things. He used the boat. Somebody got a boat. We need a boat. Use that boat and pushed it out and taught from that boat. So we need these physical things, but these physical things are not there for us to live by. But these physical things ought to support our purpose. hmm And so this kingdom, these kingdom principles, these kingdom ways of being, seeing, speaking, and so forth, they help you to show up as the purpose of God that you are in the earth. We need you. The earth is groaning. We need you. We need you. You were born with certain gifts, talents, and sensitivities. So we need you. And so this particular time for me is about me making sure that I do what I need to do internally here so that I can show up ready to express purpose and do my part. Just do my part. As they say in football, I think it's Coach Bill Belichick. Just do your job, okay? If you the corner, do your job. We need you to show up and be the corner. If you're the halfback, fullback, quarterback, just do your job. And so I do this so I can do my job. And I offer it to you. All right. Well, anyways, in the daily download, Dr. Pulley has been leading us book by book, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. And so we are now in First Corinthians, the 4th chapter, and I believe the last verse, verse 21. Really interesting verse here. And so I'm not reteaching daily download, but I am going to share my reflections, how it impacted me in my time of study and prayer and contemplation. And so I'll share from that end, and you get a chance to see how it works with you. So 1 Corinthians 4 and chapter 4 verse 21. So the kingdom study. So King James reads, "What will ye? Shall I come unto you with a rod or in love and in spirit of meekness?" And here is how we write it in the kingdom study, just to help with the life application and think through and talk through. What do you prefer? Do you desire I come to you with a rod of discipline or with a gentle spirit? It's all love. And so, as we read through a part of what came out in today's study, that Paul is saying, "Well, how do you wish I come to you?" Because we can be very opinionated. Well, you said this and you did this and well, how do you prefer I come to you? Because I'm aiming to help you. I'm aiming to lift you. So how do you prefer I come? Let me see if I can meet you where you are. And I love the way how Dr. Pulley talked about it in the class, how he talked about Bishop Hector encouraging him. Listen, you got to do some things differently. Make sure you make some acknowledgments over here and some acknowledgments over there and so forth. And Pulley said, I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised. You grateful that you had an opportunity to show up and be a part of this thing. And that was a big part of a lot of my early experiences, whether it was in our church or otherwise, and that is the case in many instances, even even in the world system. And so you don't really, it's kind of my way or the highway. you know and there are some concepts, leadership concepts in the world system that are a bit more balanced, but certainly what we're hearing from Paul here is very pointed and can be very different depending on how we've experienced church, how we've experienced family culture, how we've experienced the world system and so forth, and all of the nuances in these ways, or in these places, in these systems, subsystems. I reflected on it, very inspired by the analogy that Dr. Pulley just gave that I was sharing, where Bishop Hector says, come on, you gotta do something. It's not all because you ought to be glad. My most recent lesson in this, so that I can help people where they're motivated at, so that I can meet, if your true desire If your true desire is to minister, support, and lift people to help them be equipped and empowered, that is your true desire, then Paul models for us that there are different ways we can come at it. And there's no harm in saying, well, how do you prefer? What works for you? What do you require? Where were you in your soul's thoughts, feelings, and so forth, so I can meet you there. I remember one time Bishop Hector had shared some ideas and so forth, and we decided, they decided, the leaders of Cotec at the time, we're gonna go a different route. So he was explaining to me and asked me if I was okay. I was like, I don't need that. I'm good. You don't have to pad it up. I'm good. All is well. I'm not attached to that. It was a thought, but I'm good. In fact, I agree. At the same time, I do recognize that I do require also love and some softness. And so my recent lesson was recalling one of our college trustees who spoke at a commencement and encouraged the commencement, the graduates, that as they go out into their explorations of professions and so forth, he'd say, I'm sure, as you go out into the world, lead with grit and kindness, he says. And I'm saying grit and grace. Bishop Pulley helped to give me grit and grace. The bishop holds the consciousness of grace. Lead with grit and kindness. He said grit is for you and kindness is for the people. And there are some of us, hey, give us a little grit, and others of us give us a lot of kindness. But the point is, he taught in that when he taught to the graduates, I grabbed it from me. I said, hey, I'm graduating today too. I'm graduating today too. And I took that, and that was a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it never left me. And recently I was challenged to reposture myself in that as a leader, to make sure that I'm much more balanced in leading with both. How do you prefer I come to you? I'm coming with both. And some may say, hey, give me a little bit more grit right now. I don't need a lot of just give me the grit. I just need the black and white. I'm at a place where I just need, give me the grit. And there are other people that say, give me some grace. Give me some grace. I know you got some grit, but give me some grace. And so that's what I've been sitting in as a leader, and even the more blessed seeing that Paul is demonstrating and demonstrating and modeling that it's okay that we do that as a leader, that there are some good outcomes that happen when we can show up as a leader ready to meet people where they are. Do you prefer I come this way or that way? So I'm encouraging you as leaders, go ahead and expand your vocabulary. Go ahead and expand your capacity for how you deal with the people. And I'm encouraging the people, go ahead and allow yourself to grow in these different ways, to allow yourself to be ready to receive the grit and to receive the grace. Be prepared to receive both. I was talking with somebody in my closing. I was talking with someone. I was talking about a time when it's been several times when I done stepped into some poo poo, created the poo poo, was the poo poo. And Dr. Pulley is so gracious in his correcting and saying, okay, go this way. But I said to them, maybe because of how my father raised with a lot of grits, he's very nurturing grace, but he ain't play either. So I don't, once you come to me with a correction, I'm kind of like, okay, let's go. My feelings, I have feelings now. I can work through my feelings. But I said the very first time when I did something that it was incorrect. It was incorrect. It was incorrect. And Dr. Pulley called me. He said, good morning. And I said, oh, great morning. What do I owe the pleasure? And he wasn't in no pleasure. He was in problem solving. I said, good morning. To what do I owe the pleasure? He said, who said, who told, who did, who what? And I calculated. And in my mind, I was like, but she said, but then he. But all that came out of my mouth was, I'll fix it. And he said, thank you. And he hung up the phone. Go ahead and grow. Be mature so you can take whichever way it comes, and you can still offer and say, this is where I am. Give me a little grace today. You can say, this is where I am. Just go ahead and just put the grid on the table. We ain't got time for all this. Just put the grid on the table. And as a leader, you can be mature enough to offer and say, what do you prefer? How do you prefer? What motivates you? What's going to help you? Tell me. Help me help you. All right. I love you all. I bless you. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, like and share. Last month, I came back into my 10. This month, I'm on 15. That's my goal. Like and share. Let's get at least 15 likes and shares. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. I'm sharing as well. So let's get them out there. Let's share. I'm on share. I just had a revelation of expanding my share. And so 15 is the number this month. I'm just letting you know in advance. 20 is going to be the number for December. And for 2025, starting in January, 25 is going to be our number. All right. That's going to be our number in starting in January for 2025. All right. I love you. I bless you. I exalt God as the everywhere. No more less where you are than I am. The everywhere, evenly present, there and here. The evenly present spirit of absolute good. And when I am experiencing a situation and I do not sense absolute good, that I can do what is modeled in Genesis. I can go into what appears to be so chaotic, so dark, so void of any good thing. And I can call out the good thing. I can call out the light and let there be light. That I can create. That the only thing that is different in the chaos and the darkness and what appears to be so glorious is what is to be deciphered. Good is already there. It's always there, but it needs to be deciphered. Most people, we can see the good once it's been deciphered, but we are encouraging you how to go and create and decipher that good. Absolute good is always present everywhere, evenly present. All right. I love you. I bless you. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful, blessed day and a wonderful, blessed weekend. Yes, I do take time to be a bit more quiet on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays outside of the midday moment. But that daily download, he has built the capacity. He is every day, 6:30 a.m. He has the strategy of the Lord, and he is there every day, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right.